It was a relentless slog of endless negotiations, whole blocks of nations working at odds with the seemingly impossible goal of an agreement acceptable to all. And when accord came, it was nowhere near enough for many observers.
No, I'm not happy. I don't think anybody should be happy. When you look at the forces outside these halls, where people are on the streets, it was 8 million in September. You have impacts happening from Australia to Germany, and you have science that is becoming more compelling and more undeniable, and the things that they have predicted are actually more conservative than what we're seeing now. I think it's time for real action. We can't just rehash what we agreed to 5 years ago.
Shame on you!
In the year of mass climate protests, it's not surprising that direct action found its way into the exhibition halls in Madrid, given the chasm that exists between what science says is required to be done and the snail's pace of progress from national delegations. The star of the climate movement homed in on the science.
And why is it so important to stay below 1.5 degrees? Because even at 1 degree, people are dying from the climate crisis. Because that is what the united science calls for, to avoid destabilizing the climate, so that we have the best possible chance to avoid setting off irreversible chain reactions.
But Greta's words had no effect. A conference that should have ended at 6 p.m. on Friday wound on through the night into Saturday and on into Sunday. Sleep was a scarce commodity. But there was an impasse over Article 6, part of the text that deals with carbon markets. The poorer nations saying they were being cheated by the United States, Australia, Saudi and Brazil.
Belize, you have the floor.
This was the COP of ambition. We are not seeing the ambition. All the references to the science has gotten weaker. All reference to enhancing the NDCs have gone. It seems we prefer to look backward than looking forward. We need to address this issue.
For those who've been part of the global movement calling for action, this has been a big disappointment.
It is really disappointing to see that we had our hope built up, because our leaders kept on telling us that they were happy about our actions and the fact that we were creating awareness for climate change, and then we come here and we get the opposite of what they said. Is so disappointing.
The arguments here in Madrid have been relentless, and many are now questioning whether this multilateral approach is fit for purpose. So in 1 year's time, the crucial climate summit in Glasgow, where national commitments to cut emissions must match the science. Otherwise, many believe we face runaway climate change. Nick Clark, Al Jazeera, Madrid.